going to be talking about entrepreneurship in college and beyond. And the reason why I am stressing in college is because you guys are in college and you have time. You may not realize it. You may think, oh, during the semester, I'm always studying. There's always a lot to do. There's exams, there's homeworks, but you do have time. You have free time during the day when you're not in classes. You have time at night when you don't have classes. You have the weekends to yourself. You don't have most of you, you don't have kids. You're going to have time to dedicate to other things. And one of these things that I want you guys to start thinking about is entrepreneurship and starting your own business. So we're going to be talking about money. I'm going to be really blunt with a lot of things because it has been a difficult economic climate and we need to understand the numbers. This is something that we do not learn in school. There are signs of it improving at some point, but we don't know what's going to happen. So we need to be prepared for now. So first off, why is entrepreneurship important for you now? The important thing is now. Obviously, if you make your own business when you're in your 30s or 40s, that's great too. But now you have the time, and your mind is moving, and your mind is being molded by your college career, by your learning and your major and what you're doing. But you can use problem-solving skills that you're learning and apply it to something that will make you money now, instead of waiting for your career or your job after graduation. So college, you have the first 4 years or the 4+ years, however long you're in college. It's meant to create a foundation for future success. Obviously, that's why you or your parents are investing in college. You want to get smarter and get connected. So getting smarter, obviously, because you're taking your courses, but getting connected because networking is super important. As most of you know already, that's something that is taught in college, that networking is very important. But what they don't tell you is that getting independent is what I think that is one of the most important parts of college. Is, yeah, obviously you can get independent with your lifestyle, with living on your own, but getting independent with your thinking. And it's something that's not really stressed at all, because by getting independent, I mean creating your own opportunities, making your own jobs. And that's something that I've been doing for a while now, for years, is kind of expanding the bounds and kind of making my own rules. We are not bound by a lot of the ways to make money that you think there are. Whether it's getting a normal 9-to-5 job, taking up a side hustle, right? That is what we call like a colloquial side hustle. Like, oh, I'm going to start Uber. I'm going to do some other thing out there that can make you a little bit of money on the side. Those are opportunities. I wouldn't consider that entrepreneurship. Let's say if you did Uber, right? Uber is a company. They have a structure within the company that you can only do a certain thing, and you're an employee for a bigger company. I wouldn't consider that entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is creating your own money making from scratch. And today I'm going to teach you kind of how to get started and your way of thinking on how to do that. Something I really want to stress: get independent. And it all starts with asking yourself the simple question of, what do you want your life to look like in 5 years? And let's say you might be 2 years, 3 years into the workforce, working full time. Nothing wrong with that at all. And it's a great place to start. But you want to see, all right, money wise, life wise, what do you want your day to look like? So what is your perfect weekday? With a balance, you need to have a balance. Obviously, a perfect weekday, oh, I'm on vacation somewhere on the beach, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I mean a perfect weekday. So with a balance of responsibility, work, exercise, and rest. So you want to have a balance of everything. For me, I want to wake up early, not super early. I could wake up super early, but why stress yourself? I wake up 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, go to the gym when I want. Then I take a look at the stock market when I get home, maybe do some trading. Then I could, work on my computer business in the afternoon, teach an afternoon or a night class, come home, rest, and then do it all over again. For me, that is a kind of a perfect balance between responsibility, work, and exercise and rest. And everyone has their own. So it all starts with being independent with your thinking, to finding and really thinking what you want for yourself, because we only have one life, and you can make it exactly what you want it to look like. It just takes a little bit of creativity and innovation. And the reason why this is important, not just something to strive for, oh, it'll be nice to have, but the reason why I would say it's borderline crucial for you guys to start thinking like this, is because the economy has changed a lot since our parents were our age, right? So back in 70s, 80s, even early 90s, you can Get a full-time job. You can save up a certain amount of money, put it into the market, put it into just general investments, and you will create generational wealth. It looks like that's changing. So I can throw some stats at you. So the median household income in 2003, so that's 20 years ago, was 43,000. That's pretty low. And the average house price was 240,000. For now, 2022, we have 74,000 as the household income, and the average price jumped of the average house price jumped to 450K. So the multiplier isn't that much different. You know, you have a 5, so income to the house price, you're looking at 5.5 versus 6.1 times. Not a huge increase, but it's not the multiplier. You have to think of the amount of money here. And even with inflation, the amount of money you need to save up to get a house from the actual just subtraction difference is going from $200,000 to around $400,000. That is huge. Where even from 2003 to now, salaries have not. I mean, these average household salaries looks like it almost 2x'd, but in reality, what are we seeing in, like, let's say New Jersey? You can make 60, 80,000. It's like normal. Now it's like, okay, 70, 80, 90. It's like considered in a normal range for someone who has a bachelor's degree education. The salary hasn't really changed, but the expenses of a house is one example, but everything else has increased as well. So food, gas, just anything else, anything you buy. It's just much more expensive. So if let's say you buy a house at this median house price for 2022, right, $450,000, and with a mortgage, so you put down a down payment of a normal down payment, 20%, right? Which, 20%, that's 90K. You have to save up 90K to buy a house at 20% down payment now. That's a lot. So this is why. How many years will it take you to save that doing a normal 9 to 5 job? Even if you're making 100K, it might take 5 or 6 years, and then you'll be in your 30s. And then I want to get you guys to think about this early on, so you can kind of try to push the boundaries, make your own moves before this happens and before you have less time to do it. So I know from personal experience, you will have less time after you graduate because you're going to be working full time. When you get home, you're going to be exhausted. In the morning, you have a lot of morning things to do. Then you're working from 9 to 5. You have driving. You're most of you will probably be in New Jersey, so there's commuting involved, and that's not short, depending on where you are. But it all eats in. But so now's the time. So monthly expenses, if you were to buy a house, at the average. So let's say if it's a couple, 2 people, you have $1,000 in food, $3,500 mortgage on average. Usually, it's right now with the rates, it's probably a little bit more. $500 in gas, and I'm being conservative with this number of $500 in extra stuff. You want to buy couch cushions, whatever, and anything else. $500 a month. So this means after taxes, you need to be bringing in $5,500 a month minimum. And also, this is New Jersey numbers on average, right? So this is a ballpark number, $5,500 minimum after taxes. So taxes are huge. This means that your before tax salary on paper needs to be $111,000 to live minimally. This means not really saving any money month to month. And if you want to save money, you kind of have to really, really be minimal. You can't really drive anywhere. You have to buy cheap food. You have to go to Walmart and Costco to buy your food and get low quality food, which most people don't want to do if you want to live ideally. And to do that, you're making 111K. So you have a really good job by today's standards. So that's the problem. That's the problem right there. You need to have an exceptional job in today's market to live minimally. That was never the case before. But don't freak out, because this is the way the economy is right now. Political changes lead to economic changes, policies change, and it's a very cyclical process. So right now, we're at a pretty bad point. It could get worse. It could get better. Most likely, the lower it goes, the better it can possibly get over time. So don't freak out and be like, oh my God, I'm screwed. Because there always are possibilities, and there's always changes in the markets and the economy. This should alert you a little bit. You need to have 111,000 a year to live minimally. And also, if you have 2 people, it makes it easier, right? So let's say you have two people, a couple, because these monthly expenses are for I'd say an average couple, 5,500, and 111,000. That's combined. So let's say you have a couple and you each make 80,000, right? So that's 160,000 a year. That's above this. The 111 threshold. Yeah, that's great. But after taxes and after expenses, there's going to be more expenses. How much are you actually saving a month or a year? Maybe $10,000, $15,000 a year of savings that can go into the market. And also, that savings that can get eaten up really quick. What I always tell my wife is there's always one leak, one like roof leak away from something terrible happening, right? So let's say there's a leak, automatic, boom, $3,000 charge right there. Or let's say so you need a new car, boom, 20,000, 30,000, right? So this stuff could happen out of nowhere. Or let's say there's a family emergency where you need to give a lot of money to your family member if something dire is happening. That's that you need to do that in some cases, right? That could be 10, 20, $30,000 just spit out, right? That could be years of hard work of savings just in one shot. This means you have to innovate to be successful and well off. Simple hard work and dedication is not enough. No, I'm gonna go to a recruiter. I'm gonna get a job out of college. It's gonna start me at 70,000. Then I'm gonna get a 3 to 5% raise every year with a bonus. So by the time you're 35, 40 years old, yeah, you'll be making 120, 130,000, but you're going to be living minimally because the prices of everything are also going to increase by that time. This is dismal, but there is always ways to improve it. So my story first, I'll go through this quickly. Then we'll go into how you can really integrate entrepreneurship in your own life right now. So just to give you an idea of how I did it. So I graduated in 2017 from Stevens with a chemical biology degree, stayed there for the PhD. I never thought of entrepreneurship. I had odd jobs. I wasn't one of these kids that worked since he was 14 years old. I grew up with some kids that were always working since they were 14, 15 years old. I didn't do that. My parents actually told me not to get a job and to focus on my own happiness, focus on my own education, they'd rather me study and do well in school than to make minimum wage at some retail job. And I agree with this mentality, but everybody has different family situations and different upbringings. It doesn't matter where you came from is the point. So entrepreneurship wasn't really a thought. Then 3 years into my PhD, so out of the 4-year program, we had COVID. So I had a lot of free time. I had 3 months where we weren't allowed in the lab, and I wanted to make some extra money. And I wanted to explore these opportunities. Up until this point, the only other jobs I was doing is I was adjuncting at Manhattan Community College. So I was making okay money, enough to pay the rent, along with the shitty stipend they give you in a PhD program. Which those of you who are wondering, you're getting like $20,000 to $30,000 a year if you do a PhD. You can't live on that. You can't. That's before taxes, by the way. You cannot live on that. So you need external scholarships. You need to kind of bend the rules a bit, try to do your own thing. So for those of you who want to go to graduate school and get a PhD, entrepreneurship might be your best option to make ends meet because it's definitely not going to be that stipend. It sucks. So in this free time that I had, I wanted to explore new things and try to figure out ways to make money. So in 2016, I built my own gaming PC. It was a lot of fun. So I thought maybe I could start a business where I build other people's computers. And it always starts from a problem, right? So I looked into the market, and I knew the market a little bit. I knew, okay, I know the parts a little bit. Gaming computers, that's, you put them together. You have your graphics card, your processor, etc. So the problem I saw is that bigger companies, if you go to Best Buy or the store at Best Buy, a lot of the times these people are going to lie to the parents that come in that are looking for, oh, I want a computer that can play Fortnite for my son. I get that literally every day. And a lot of these bigger companies, they're going to sell them crap. They're going to be like, all right, this one's $600, $700, $800. It could play the game fine, whatever. Then the kid plays it. It's a terrible experience. His frame rate isn't good. It's not a good computer for it because the guy lied to you at the store, and then the parents in a bind, so it's a lot of this. And then let's say God forbid, something happens to the computer where it doesn't turn on, whatever. You have terrible customer support. So I saw this as a big problem in the computer industry where the support was terrible. So then from there, my company was born, Custom Lux PCs. And I stress for free. So if you take any business course, any entrepreneurship course, they will teach you to start a business. You need to have this. You need to have a license. You need to have a website. You need to be legitimate. You need to have all this stuff. Well, legitimate, obviously, it's true, but to you don't need to invest money into an idea. If it's a good enough idea, you can do it for free in 95% of the cases for your businesses. So for free, I mean Facebook ads and word of mouth. My network wasn't huge. So I mean, I had a couple of, like, maybe a few sales through my friend knew a guy that's looking for something, right? But most of it was starting free on Facebook ads, Instagram, starting up on Instagram, making posts routinely. This is all free. And yes, it takes patience, hard work, and adaptation to the market. And in my case specifically, the parts are always changing. New things are coming out. I was learning on the fly and figuring out how to sell and do all this, right? So the output of this hard work was my first year, I did 156,000 in sales. Then it grew by around 70% to 265. Then 2022 was 375, and this year was 429. So it is a growing business, and it's something that I'm really proud of that I started on my own. So then also I had other ideas too. So something that I saw was like, okay, in 2021, I was like, maybe I could start a tutoring service because I have this education background. I've been a professor for a while. I've been a tutor for a while also. I've been tutoring people just for petty cash here and there, and also through the school at Stevens since I was in high school. Since 2013, I've been tutoring. So I started a tutoring service but I didn't want to do the tutoring because I didn't have much time. I was teaching. I had a full-time job out of my PhD, so I really had no time. And this was a very stressful time in my life, which I just got out of in August, where I was basically working 24/7. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But it was not sustainable, which is why I made the transition over to teaching. So I started this business called Gold Stem Tutoring. It's a tutoring service that the business model is I pay my tutors damn well. If you work for, I'm sure a lot of you looked into tutoring before, and you see companies like Mathnasium and Wyzant and whatever, all these companies that try to hire tutors. You're getting like $20 an hour, maybe 25. Off the books from parents, you're getting a lot more. So I wanted to pay my tutors starting salary of $40 an hour. So that's what I do. And for 200 level, 300 level courses, it can be up to as much as $65 an hour. So, and I wanted to be really good to my tutors because I wanted to recruit tutors easily. But anyway, it's a different business model. For me, it's mostly passive income because, again, I'm not doing any of the tutoring. So it's not that much. I'm going to be very transparent with income here. For this so far, it's still growing a little bit, but I'm making like an extra 4,000 to 5,000 a year. It's not crazy, but it's passive. It has a lot of possibility to grow, and also I like doing it. I like being an educator, and I like facilitating people's educations. This is something that you need to think about now. Now, enough about me. You need to start thinking about your own life path, right? So what do you want it to look like? And of course it will change because you can't tell the future for yourself. So for me, I did school. I did school plus business plus teaching, which is my graduate school. So where I started my business and I did teaching on the side. Then when I graduated PhD, I went into pharmaceuticals, 9-to-5 job, and I worked on my business, and I kept my foot in the door at NGIT because I knew I wanted to make this step, or at least I wanted to be versatile. I wanted to have my options open, which is what I wanted. One of the main points that I want to stress today is keeping your options open and being flexible with income. So you can, if something happened, you can quickly switch to one source of income versus another one. Then I took the leap because my business was doing so well that I can teach and just do the business and teaching. So you need to make your own path. What is the vision for myself? So in order to really have a drive, to create a drive for yourself, you need to understand your own vision. And for everybody, it's different. But I broke it down into, kind of traits that most people want. This is not for everybody. What I do recommend is you need to determine a vision for yourself. So at first, I just wanted to make some extra money. I didn't really have a vision, a big picture vision. Now it's kind of transformed into a vision of, all right, I want to support a family. I just got married. I want to be able to have enough money to support kids. I want to have freedom, and I want to have versatility, and I want to be fearless. Now, these are some bold words, no pun intended. They are bolded. But freedom, the freedom to stand up for what I believe in and to go my own way if needed. In today's world, that is very important. We don't want to be conformists in a shitty job and you see it on TV all the time where like depending on what show it is, the person's in a shitty job, they don't like their boss, they're stuck there because they want to make the paycheck, and they kind of don't have the guts to do anything different because out of fear, right? So people conform out of rational fear, not irrational fear. The rational fear is, I don't want to lose my job, I don't want to lose my livelihood. That's a completely rational fear. But what if you didn't have that fear? Think about the way things can go. And even as a student, why do you pay attention in school? Kind of, if you break it down enough, it's the fear is involved. It's not you shouldn't think about this all the time, but I mean, think about it. What happens if you don't do well in school? You are afraid of not graduating, of not getting a good job. This is a fear. It's a rational fear, but it's a fear. If you had ways of making money yourself, this fear can kind of be mitigated. It's a good thing to try to strive for. Also, versatility. So you want to be income versatile. Income versatility, that's a term that I kind of made. And really, it's a path to be untouchable, because if you have multiple ways of income, multiple ways of making money that can support you individually, you will not be afraid of if one of them either dwindles down or let's say you get fired, right? Worst case scenario. It's not the end of the world because you have versatility. You'll have no stress. You're a stress reliever if you have income versatility. But first, you need to, and one of the main reasons that I want to have freedom and become versatile and fearless is to solve problems, because in the real world, problems are solved by going against current standards, right? And an example, and I'm not getting political here, but an example in education, most of you are not really incentivized to learn. The institution does not incentivize you to learn. The best they can do is say, oh, NJIT or Stevens or Princeton or wherever has a great return on investment, right? That's really to incentivize the parents to send you to the school. That doesn't incentivize you to learn everything you can learn. So that's a problem that I want to tackle as I get older, is kind of find a way to incentivize students to really want to learn. And some of you don't need the motivation, but even if you like the class, you still have to put in an effort where you'd rather not put in the effort. You'd rather just learn it and get an A and get by. Believe me, I was there. I know what it's like. Even in grad school, there was classes that I really was interested in. I just wanted to, all right, I've got to study it. Oh, it's nice, but I'd rather be doing something. I'd rather be playing baseball, but I wasn't really incentivized to learn it. You need to think about problems in your own life that you can solve, or problems that you see that you can solve as time goes on. And this could be a motivator for you. Also, I love the word trailblazer, right? I put a picture of a Chevy Trailblazer. There's no relation. The word trailblazer. Blazing your own trail, making your own path. And this is something that it's a big word. Usually it's used for people like the top entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who they created industries, right? And they revolutionized industries. And these are huge things to do, and we all can't do stuff like this. I know I'm not going to do anything like that, right? I'm not saying I am, but we can all blaze our own trail in our life, right? Whether that means making a small business that's not like Uber Eats, right? That's not your business, but it's making something that's truly yours and blazing your own trail and your path of life. My personal goals for my trailblazing would be to make my computer company a self-sufficient, medium-sized company, expand my tutoring business, and also I want to make a platform for students to kind of find success, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this seminar. And also, it's crazy, but I want to make my own school. But anyway, Let's get into a lot of the nitty gritty of things that I've learned for making businesses, how to how to take initiative or how to think about it in your own life. So, what is a business? And you can say, "Oh, I want to help people. I want to solve a problem." That's all great, but in the real world, you want to provide a product or a service that generates money. You want to generate money without being greedy. Wanting to generate money is good because with money you can solve problems if you use it correctly. Money is taken, not made. Another important concept because you have to you are convincing someone else to give it to you. So if you have a product or a service that after this seminar you're thinking about making or putting into action, you want to ask yourself and you want to ask your friends, why why should you pay me? Right? Why are you paying me for the service of the product? And they will ask you, why should I pay you for the service of the product? And you should be able to answer that well because it's better, it's cheaper, it's more efficient, it's faster. These are all common things, and obviously depending on what it is. If it's something like if you make your own makeup, for example, it's better, it withstands sweat more, it's cheaper. These are all common things that like cheaper is price is super important. You want to ask yourself this of why someone should pay you for your product or service. Why is it better? Why are they paying you versus somebody else? Whether they the first thing that comes up on Google, why are they buying that? Or why aren't they buying that? Why should they buy yours? Another important concept is money in. This is your proof of concept. You need to generate money before you invest your own money into your business. This is true for 95% of small businesses, except for ones that you really need overhead, such as a plumber or a tradesman of any kind, where you need to get a certification, which costs a couple $1,000s, the training from the state, maybe a truck, different types of tools, stuff like that. Obviously, you need an overhead before customers actually pay you. But in a lot of other businesses, whether you're flipping stuff or you're making stuff and selling it on Etsy, or you're providing a service for someone, the first thing to do is start selling, is to start convincing people to spend their money and give it to you for whatever you're providing. And there's ways to do this honestly, right? I'm not saying to kind of just take. You're doing it and you're making the people happy, right? The main thing is customer happiness, super important. Money in, very important concept. Before you invest in it with your own money. And also, even now, my business is 4 years old. I don't have crazy high overhead. I'm only spending 300 to 500 a month on ads, which isn't crazy. Some companies, and here's something I saw online actually. Some of you have heard of drop shipping, maybe. It's like you basically you make your own website and you put this like Alibaba kind of stuff, like Chinese knockoff clothes or watches or whatever on the site. You make it look legitimate. You pump a ton of money into the Google ads and the ads for it, and you might make some sales. That is a terrible business model because you are not proving the concept that people actually want what you're selling. You are just pumping money to force people to see it a lot. So that's not really convincing anyone. Because as soon as you start pumping that money in, no one's going to pay you anymore because no one's seeing it. You want the proof of concept by customers paying you before you really invest money into the ads. All right, so another thing in bold and underlined is stay in your wheelhouse. I'm sure many of you who are trying to find ways to make money, you start with a Google search. You start with a YouTube search of different ways to make money, different side hustles, right? A lot of these side hustles are built on other businesses, right? So it's like Uber, like drop shipping, like Amazon FBA, doing some kind of real estate thing that is sponsored by some other company we have to sign up for and do whatever, who knows what. A lot of these things are, well, first of all, they're not skills that you innately have, and I'm not saying I have them either, right? If someone told me, you can make $10,000 extra a month by doing drop shipping, I'm like, all right, I don't know anything about drop shipping. Why me? Everyone else doesn't know anything either about it. So how am I going to make that money? Stay in your wheelhouse means use the skills that you have, and you all have skills, you all have talents. Try to figure out a way to monetize them. This is where you start your business, right? That's the first thing you should think of. And on the next slide, we'll look at that a little bit more. You want to be customer centric. So the Amazon model, no one hates Amazon. The reason why is because even if something happens, you don't get the right item, it's damaged, whatever, the customer support is amazing. Returns are so easy. No one gives you a hassle. They make the customer feel important. And a lot of times you get great prices. Most of the time you have amazing prices. Amazon gives you slightly better than what you expect. So you need to focus on giving the client or the customer slightly better than what they expect, even if it's an illusion, right? So even if, let's say something is the same, this is a tactic that I use, right? Let's say I have a computer that is the same price as a competitor. And for some reason, I just can't lower the price anymore. I will say, and this is true, I wouldn't lie to them. I'd say, all right, this is the same price. And even if it's $100 more, you're getting better quality, right? So it's like, all right. So in their mind, they're like, all right, I'm getting kind of what I'm expecting in terms of the price, because it's not better than the competitor, but it's either one of the parts is better or the quality of the computer is better. So it's slightly better than what they're expecting, which will sway them in the direction of you rather than the competitor. So this is what you need to keep in mind. And of course, if you can give them a lot better than what they're expecting, then your business will take off even more, which, depending on the computer, oftentimes that happens with me. Speed is really important. You all have lives of your own, right? If you're going to buy something, let's say you're looking on Etsy, right? And you want to buy some customized thing, like a t-shirt, right? And you have a question about the t-shirt. Oh, do you have a medium size? Or can you have this color on it? Or can I put this logo on it? If you don't get an answer in like 12 hours, you're done. You're looking at you're going to custom ink. You're looking at another company already. Responding fast is important. In my industry, I learned that especially because I'm dealing with computers. You can Google search and find 1,000 computers. It is a very saturated industry. And that's true with a lot of online businesses and services and products in general. Now is the time where it's the most saturated that it's ever been. You need to have speed. That's what can set you apart from everybody else, even for the same product. I've had somebody literally tell me that they found a product that was similar that was actually cheaper, but because I responded within 5 minutes, they went with me because they knew I knew my shit and I was taking it seriously. I've gotten that several times. And some of these were high-end sales where people were spending $8,000, $9,000. Speed is important. I'm telling you this from experience. I mentioned this before. Do not make a business using solely another company as a platform. And a great example of this that we've seen in real time is YouTube. A lot of content creators, and even content creators and streamers that I sponsor through the computer company, they are trying to, and well, bigger streamers are successful with it, but there's a lot of people out there who are content creators like, oh, I want to do full-time YouTube. That's a bad idea, because what YouTube did in the last 5 years, I don't exactly know the timeline, but what they did is they're like, all right, content creators we're going to cut their rate in half. We're going to cut their income in half. That destroyed people, where content creators were making a living before that, and now they're not, because they were getting paid from YouTube only. And maybe they did YouTube and Twitch, but whatever. If their main thing is YouTube, or if they're using, if they have their platform is based on using another company's services, that company can cut you off in 2 seconds. If they feel greedy one day, they can just snip you off. Same thing with Amazon. If you make a business and you're only selling on Amazon, you're screwed. Because Amazon can be like, you know what, we're going to raise the fees to fucking 13% instead of 6%. All right, you're done. And you lose all your margins. It's important to make a business using multiple platforms. So, for example, I mean, you can't get away without using a platform unless you go door to door and knock on people's doors, and that's stupid. That's a waste of time. Because there's people that say that they can do door to door sales. I've never done it, and I would never want to do it, and it doesn't work. Because how many people would buy something if you invade their privacy of their home by knocking on their door and trying to sell them something when they're trying to just sit down and relax in their house? Terrible idea. You want to get people when they reach out to you first. I never reach out to people. I post ads, I post this, I post that, but I never reach out to people. Always people are coming to me with at least a little bit of interest. Even if they're not super interested, I can kind of bring them over the line sometimes. So anyway, don't make your business using other companies. But I use multiple companies, right? So I have Instagram, Facebook, Google. Now I'm expanding my reviews on different territories. So you want to be on a lot of different ones. All right. Also, people will try to bring you down. This is a fact of life, that the more independent you get and the more money you make, you will have more adversity. Whether coming from I'm not going to say family and friends, because most you have good family and friends are going to support you. I'm talking about outside people, scams, empty promises. I've had how many people come to me and ask me to choose them as my SEO provider, their marketing provider. Oh, I'm going to redo your website. Your website could use significant improvement. You could be a millionaire if you do this change and this change. Let me help you. I care about you. I really care about this for you. No, they don't. They want your money. They want your success. So do not fall for that stuff. And I kind of did. I paid a top-rated service, $4,000 to rebuild my website at the start of last year. They did it. It sucked. I had to redo the website basically from learning on how to do it myself on WordPress, which wasn't that hard, but I had to redo it. I had to redo 90% of the web pages myself. And his promises to me was, wow, you have a really good business here. Your numbers look great. I can make you a millionaire. I can make sure the website is seen by everybody. Do your search engine optimization, that's SEO. I can do all this stuff for you, and you will see a night and day difference. Or it might take he didn't say that. He said it might take 3-4 months, but you're going to see a huge improvement in your sales, and it's going to be amazing. I got swindled. It didn't work out. I paid him $4,000. He made the website. I'll give him that, but it sucked. I needed to redo the whole thing, and my sales basically stayed the same. And they increased when I increased my ads. So and when I grew the business organically, not from his website. So don't let people bring you down. Also, last thing, luck. So you've heard of the Stanley Cup thing with the Valentine's Day cups. Stanley Cup was an old company that never made cups for women or for TikTok consumer markets, but they went viral once, and they are 10xing their sales in 2023. And Mark Cuban even stresses this. If you ever hear Mark Cuban talking about entrepreneurship, he says, you think these millionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs, they just grind and grind and grind and get there? No, they have significant luck. They bet on an investment, they invest in something, and it becomes 100x of what it was. And the chances of that happening, 1% or less, right? They're extremely lucky. So there is some luck involved. But what I've seen in my life is if you put in that work and if you try to network to a bunch of different people, even go a little bit beyond what you should be. Like something I'm trying to do now is get medium-sized businesses to get wholesale amount of computers from me. That's tough. Why are they going to trust some small business instead of Dell or Lenovo? I'm going to get mostly no's, but I might get lucky, and if I keep trying, luck will kind of find me. And I've had a few opportunities where I've been extremely lucky to get a really big sale or a really big order or a high value client, influencers, stuff like that. Influencers that give me shout outs, then I get thousands of followers, right? And sales from that. So I've seen luck happen, but from pushing, eventually your luck increases. So now you understand the principles of business, most of them. There's a lot more. I could talk about this stuff for hours. This is the important stuff on how do you start your business from nothing, or at least how I did it and how this will work. Write your skills on a piece of paper. Sounds stupid, right? But write your skills down. You all have skills. You've been on this earth for 18 plus years. You are good at at least a few things, right? I'm only good at a few things, right? You're really good at a few things. For me, I'm a good communicator, I think. I'm good at chemistry. I'm good at public speaking. I'm good at computers. I'm good at baseball. I'm good at fitness, right? I know a lot about fitness. I could have been a personal trainer if I wanted to. I'm good at these things. So you need to write this down on a piece of paper. Or if you have a friend that you want to work with, this is even better. Strength in numbers. Write down all of your skills on a piece of paper. See if you can draw connections. And be like, all right, and just sit there and look at the paper and think of ways that you can make money from using your skills. So this is something that's not, oh, I'm going to go on, I want to be a content creator. I'm going to do this. If you have no skills in that, why are you doing that? Stay in your wheelhouse. That's what I said before. So you want to stay with your skills. So start with your wheelhouse and try to see where that can bring you from some innovative thinking. Having that creativity is the tough part. Obviously, it's not going to be easy to start your own business. If it was so easy, everybody would do it, right? But I at least want to give you the platform to do it, to try to do it yourself. So then step 2, think of a problem that can be addressed by your skills. So, for me, if I wanted to make a new business idea right now, I'm good at communication, chemistry, public speaking, computers, baseball, fitness. Looks like I can start some kind of baseball clinic for pitchers. I'm a pitcher. I can start a clinic where I could go to people's houses and teach their sons how to teach them how to pitch better, right? And work on their mechanics instead of them going to a facility and doing it, right? I could probably do that. I could probably get a few clients if I tried hard enough. Just from looking at these ideas, and you might come up with a few. It's good to come up with a few because some of them may not work. In this process, I had maybe 3 or 4 ideas, and some of them were either like, oh, I have to put in too much work and there wouldn't be that much money involved, or oh, this one has a high overhead. So some of them are better than others. So you gotta make that innovative thought yourself. So I know you gotta think of a problem too. So let's say for that example I used, the baseball pitchers, right? The problem would be parents don't have time to drive them to a facility, or there aren't enough facilities, or the facilities are too expensive, right? And to get a private coach is too expensive. So I can undercut them and do the same thing. And I'm a great communicator and I understand fitness as well as baseball. So I can put that into a little package and say, this is why I'm better. That's an example. And then the computer example, obviously, because this is my industry, Best Buy computers suck. They're misleading, bad customer support, and the PCs are expensive. I can make them cheaper. I can make them not suck and have better customer support and be a lot faster. Boom, right there. Next step, have a conversation with someone. 20 to 30 minutes. Talk to them about it, whether it's your best friend, your parent, your sibling, whoever, your cat, your dog, whatever. Have a conversation. Even talk to yourself. I did that before. It's no shame in it. Just rationalize it. Think about why would someone pay you for the idea? What is the idea? Maybe it'll come out as a different idea. So I actually did this with my wife a few days ago, and we wrote down her skills. She has skills in chemistry. She knows a bit about art. She knows about this, communicating, blah, 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 blah. We actually came up with a wedding favors business where she would make like customized cookies for wedding favors, right? And because we know a little bit about weddings, we just had one. She had a shop for all the vendors and all that stuff, so she knows a bit about it. And that really wasn't on her skills, but from looking at her skills and talking about it, this idea morphed. Having that conversation will give you maybe 2 to 3 ideas. Even if you don't like one of them, it's still good to write it down because it might become something. If you think about it long enough, you might have an idea on top of that idea. It's like, okay, that first idea, the baseball coach that goes to people's houses wasn't very good. Oh, but I also know this guy that could help me facilitate it and it'll be better. And he has more clients and he has a team that he's working with that I can get clients that way. So you might have an afterthought that'll help you. All right. Next, after you have these ideas, you want to look online and see if there's any competition. You want there to be competition because it's a lot harder to start a business where there's no competition because that's a weird thing to say, right? It's because no one will know to buy your stuff because there's nothing to compare it to. So if you make something completely new, right? Like if you make a machine, so me and my friend were thinking about this. If you made a machine that broke down cardboard boxes like instantaneously, like in like a split second, that I don't think that exists. It is like crushers and stuff, but like small size things because I have a lot of boxes. We'd have a tough time marketing it because people would be like, what the hell is that contraption? I've never seen anything like that before. We would have to put a lot of money into commercials and ads to get people to see it. So because there's no competition. But it's good to have a little competition. You don't want to have too much. If you have a little competition, there's not much to beat. And you want to kind of figure out what is your competition charging and what would you charge for that product or service. For example, Best Buy sells a computer, 1,500. I can make it better, a little bit better, or the same for 1,100. I can charge 1,400 for it. So that's an example of you're making the same thing, if not a little bit better. You're undercutting the competition. There is no reason why someone shouldn't go for you. So that's that. Step 5, make details of the, I should say of the product. Make details of the product or service and decide where to list it for free. Free is very important. So either Facebook ads, Etsy, word of mouth, emailing people, cold calls, whatever it is, or just if you have a network, utilize it. So if it's something that you want to become a tutor for yourself, that's an easy way to start a business for free. Most of you guys, basic calculus. You can tutor any high school class, and there's rich areas around us in New Jersey that their parents are willing to spend $100 an hour for a high school tutor, right? So all you have to do is, let's say you have an aunt who has a son or a daughter that lives in one of these areas, and you can see if their friends need any tutors. So you can market like this through your network for free. And then step 6 is, after you make the details of the product or service, is make listings, contact your network, and market like crazy. And I can help you with that one-on-one if you need more specific guidance, because every industry is a little different. Step 7, respond quick. Speed, super important, and make sales. Number 8, after you make a few sales, get reviews. Reputation and reviews are important because there are so many scams out there. Even now, 4.5 years into my business, I get asked probably once a week, is this website legit? Is your company legit? I have 188 Google reviews of 5-star. I have customer testimonial all over Instagram, tagged everywhere. I have videos of people showing off their PC and more. And I'm even expanding that into getting reviews in different networks. Facebook, Trustpilot is a new one. I'm doing all this stuff. And I still get asked because people are naturally skeptical if it's not Amazon, Best Buy, or Walmart, whatever. They are naturally skeptical, and rightfully so, because today is so fucked up that people will scam you and you'll never see the money again. I really, as you can tell, I really hate scammers because it actually impacts my business. And starting my business was so much more difficult because a lot of the scammers were in electronics and buying and selling electronics. I had to overcome that and be like, hey, no, I'm legit. You can come see me in person. We'll test the computer, et cetera, et cetera. It was a roadblock a little bit. So you have to build the reputation and reviews. Super important. Okay, almost done. So you can start right now. So you can follow this process loosely. Start out with it. Get as close as you can to this step-by-step process. I'm not saying there's other like business gurus that are like, you do this exactly word for word and then you'll make $1 million. No, you start with it and you see where your mind takes you. You guys are not stupid. You're very smart. Have faith in yourself. That's something else that is not written here, and it's too cliche to write it. Have faith in yourself, but not your business. Weird. Okay, here's what I mean by that. When growing my business, I didn't have faith in my business. I kept thinking to myself, oh shit, what if it tanks? What if one day no one decides to buy computers anymore, right? I would think doomsday scenarios. But I had faith in myself that I could continue to do the hard work, to innovate, to adapt, and to make changes, such as I made a few changes. So I started selling laptops. I started doing a trade-in program, right? I accepted financing, right? I made some adaptations to get more people in the door to buy. This is having faith in myself, not having faith in my business. Having faith in my business would have been, oh, the sale, no one bought a computer in a week. It'll come back. That's having faith in your business. That can go wrong because what if they don't? What if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Oh, it'll come back. I have faith in my business. It's good. It's been around for a year. People will buy. No, have faith in yourself that you'll put in the hard work to keep it at a high level or to keep increasing it or growing it, right? Have faith in yourself, not your business. Even now, it's been 4.5 years. I'm growing faith in my business, but it's still slow because there could be 4 or 5 days where there's no one buys a computer. And I'm like freaking out a little bit. I'm like, all right, if I don't stay on top of this right now, it could drop a little bit. So I want to just, send some emails out, put some more ads up, make some Instagram posts, contact some people who are on the fence, see if they're interested now, offer them a better deal, whatever, just to try to facilitate sales. So I have faith in myself that I'm going to put in the work time and time again to get it done. So you can follow the process. Then you want to be a trailblazer, right? So creativity has no bounds. Explore your mind. Think, sit there and go on a walk. Think about problems and how you can solve them with your skills. Also, email me with what you come up with because I want to hear it and I want to help you. I want to give you one-on-one sessions for free. This is not some ploy to make money from you. First of all, I could probably get fired for that. So I'm not going to do that. But I want to legitimately help you. If I can be a professor and also have students that are even outside of chemistry that I'm helping to find their own way and build a business, I would be so happy. That's why I'm doing this. It's not for money. I want to help you. Things to watch out for, and I mentioned this already. That's why it's in red. These gurus or these people that are, I don't know who this guy is, but I just saw this picture on Google Images. But a lot of these people who say they can do amazing things for you are lying. You want people that are promising success, scammer customers. This is huge. I can literally give an entire seminar on scams. I've seen every type of scam before. And please do not hesitate to ask me if you're making a product, let's say this year, and you're working on making some sales. If you're not sure of someone paying you or whatever, just send me an email. I will be happy to help you because the worst thing is getting scammed. I've been scammed twice. I do not want to see you lose any money. Scammer customers, and also the more success you get, the more successful you get, the more people will try to take your money. And that's true because they'll see you go up and then they'll be like, oh, I can provide this for your business. I can provide this for your business because they know your business is good. They want to feed off of it. They want to be the bottom feeders that take the droppings. So you want to watch out for that. And here's some more tips. Diversity in marketing, in platforms, and in sales. Marketing, you don't want to just have Google ads. You want to be on Facebook. You want to be on Instagram. You want to be on, anything else. TikTok. I'm skeptical about TikTok. That's more of your generation, but I know it works because people get rich from it. I know it works, but it's just not my thing. But you could do TikTok. You could do LinkedIn. I even market on LinkedIn, whatever. I might get some corporate client. Hey, we're looking to get 500 desktops, right? Who knows? So you want to have diversity in marketing because God forbid, if someone shuts you down, right? Let's say if, Facebook has all these weird policies with ads and stuff. So example, I used to sell cryptocurrency mining rigs back when that was a big thing. And Facebook blocked my ad and they kind of like temporarily shut me down because they thought it was actually me selling currency, which is not in Facebook's guide, which is against the policy. But it wasn't currency. They just flagged it because of the word, right? So my Facebook marketing crashed. But I had Google, I had Instagram, I had everything else. Didn't affect my business at all. So you want to be flexible and diverse with your platforms and your sales. Let's say someone scams you through Venmo. And for temporarily, you can't use your Venmo because you're working with Venmo to get the money back. You don't want to reject sales because you can't use Venmo. You want to have a credit card client that people can pay you with card. You want to do PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever it is. You want to be on multiple. You want to be diverse in the way you accept money. Other tip: undercut. So you want to. The biggest reason in today's market, especially, people will buy your stuff is because it's cheaper. If you have something that's more expensive than the competitor, they're probably not even going to listen to you. Even if it's a tutoring service. Oh, I'm better and like I'm smarter than the other tutor. Well, but the other one's like $20 an hour cheaper. Yeah, but I'm smarter and your kid will learn more. Okay, I don't care. It's cheaper. We'll try the other one first. Undercutting, at least when you're starting out, is the best thing to do to get business because people like cheaper. If you're credible and you sell things for cheaper or sell a service for cheaper, you will get the sales. Also, market around solving a problem. In your marketing, it should be, hey, like for tutoring, this is a joke, but like, hey, is your kid stupid? I can make him smarter, right? So that's like, you want to start out with the problem. It's like, oh, is your computer slow? I'll give you a new one. That's a lot faster and it's cheaper than one you get from Best Buy. Make people like you. Very important, because if you have good reputation and everyone loves to interact with you, that word gets around. It's not just the product, it's you. So I get all the time of word of mouth sales from people. So like, for example, there's this, some mom contacted me that wanted a computer for her kid. I had the most pleasant experience with her. Seamless. She said it was a seamless interaction. Sale went great. Kid loves the computer. Because she remembered the experience, she told her friends. And her friend, a whole group of moms that have kids around the same age that play Fortnite. And I sold to all of them. You want to make people like you. It helps. And it's not by manipulation. It's by legitimately being a good person and by selling a good product or a service. Another one that kind of goes against make people like you is the customer's not always right. It's something that you've heard this on all over the place. The customer's always right. The only place, I think, unless you think of another one, where the customer is always right is food. Because you can't tell the customer that their taste buds are incorrect because they taste it. But if it's not food, like if it's anything more technical than food, then most of the time the customer's not right. That's why they're coming to you for what it is. I've heard, I have a friend that's an electrician, and people try to tell him what's wrong with the outlet. It's like, no, you hired an electrician. If you could do it, you do it yourself. Why are you hiring a person for it? So the people are coming to you for your services. You are the expert. Do not let customers tell you what the problem is or what they want to pay for it. And so you stand your own ground to an extent, and there is a balance between making people like you and that principle of keeping the customer in check and keeping them reasonable. Like I have people coming to me every day, literally messages every day. Can I have a $200 gaming computer? Doesn't exist. You need to spend more than that. So I have to inform them nicely that, look, you need to save up more. We have financing if you want to do that. But if you want anything that's good, I'm not gonna sell you crap. If you want anything that's good, $600, $700, $800. And they're like, okay, I'll save up more and I'll come back. Thanks for answering. Also, ask a parent if they would pay for your services if they saw it online. This is big because it's oftentimes when you're you're so ingrained in your business or your idea, you can't see it from the outside. But a parent or an adult in your life, or an older adult, we're all adults, but an older adult will give you a perspective of someone that has spent money on things for years. Before my tutoring business, I asked my mom, hey, if a college kid said that they wanted to tutor me for this price back when I was in school, would you say yes, or what would you think? And then she gave me some really good insight on what she would think to help me change my marketing. Definitely ask a parent and what they would pay and what would they think if they saw your service. So this little meme is fun. So it's like, these are the fake gurus. They're all over the internet. So join my free webinar. Oh, but the webinar is just a taste of my course, which is only $1,000. Special offer only for today. Fake reviews. And then drop shipped, which is the dog shit, because drop shipping is dog shit. But I'm not doing that. I'm literally giving you free advice, and I want to help you for free because I literally get paid to help you. That's my job as a professor. I want to bring business and entrepreneurship and being an individual and education together. They're not mutually exclusive. You should not be one of these people that are like, oh, I dropped out of college and I'm a millionaire now. No, your education is important. It's crucial for your development, and it will only increase your chance of becoming a millionaire. All right, I am done. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the first of many entrepreneurship webinars. If you have any questions or need any advice on starting or growing your own business, you can contact me by commenting or through one of my links in the description below.